everyone, I'm Scott from Sharky's Greenhouses and Be Your Neighbor Fertilizer, and today we're going to be looking at how to drill a hole in a ceramic pot. So these cute little African violets came with pots. So it was in this little plastic container and it was in the ceramic pot. But guess what? There's no drainage holes in the bottom. So we're going to address that, and we're going to show you how to go through and successfully drill some holes, some drainage holes. And it's not something you can just grab a drill bit and do. You really need to have the right drill bit, and that is a ceramic drill bit. So I popped for the nice, good quality Milwaukee tool, Milwaukee drill bit, and it's a little bit different than a regular drill bit. So you have to have a special drill bit for drilling through ceramic or the harder materials. And this is a ceramic tool bit, and it has this spade on the tip of it, and that's able to cut through and drill through the ceramic. So you do need to have a certain type of drill. So you can't just go grab a regular drill bit that's for wood. It won't work, all right? And ceramic is very brittle. You have to be very careful. We're gonna drill some holes so we have drainage so that our African violets don't get overwatered. And then I'll show you how to transplant them into their container that now has holes. So we've got our drill, and what's kind of nice on these pots is they have little dimples, and there's 3 little dimples, so that's a nice starting point. Not all pots are going to be like that, so you might want to just take like a Sharpie and mark and drill 3 holes. But again, it might not have any, or you might have to just, kind of wing it, and maybe you put 2 in, or maybe you just only do 1. Maybe you want to play it safe. The more holes we put in, the more risky it gets as far as cracking this. But since it's already started, I'm going to go through and I'm going to drill 3 holes. This is a 5/16 drill bit, so it's going to put a 5/16 hole in the ceramic container, and that's going to be just about good enough to let any excess water come out. So let's go through and go ahead. Now get it nice and straight, and I'm not going to go full speed with the drill. I'm just going to kind of feed it and let the drill bit do the cutting. Don't try to force it. If you force it and push on it, remember the ceramic is very brittle. So just let the drill bit do the work. And especially be careful right at the very end when it goes through. That's where it gets a little bit risky, where you could crack it. So just kind of feel it and let it go through. Let the drill bit do its work. Slow down right at the end, right when you feel that it's about to go through that ceramic. Just slow down a little bit right at the end. There. And that was not smoke that was coming up. That was just from the little clay dust. So it wasn't getting really hot. That it just looked like it was smoking. It wasn't. It was just this dust coming from the ceramic pot. So we've got our 3 holes, and now we're going to go through it and we're going to go ahead and transplant our African violet into its new little happy container. All right, we are all set, and we have successfully drilled our holes, didn't crack the pot, everything looks good. So we're going to go through it and we're going to transplant this African violet into the ceramic pot. And I've got the Espoma, the organic African violet mix, and you can see that it's very, very light and airy. The African violets cannot have just a regular potting mix. It's just too thick. So this is a very light, airy mix, and that's what we're going to use. So we have to kind of gauge how much soil we need. So when I put this pot in there, it sits way down. It is actually going to be up a lot higher. So I'm just going to take this out of its container, and I'm going to probably put about 1 inch of soil at the bottom. And while I have this out of here, there's a few spent blooms. I'm going to take those off and just get rid of those. I'm going to handle this as little as possible. As far as transplanting, the African violets, they just don't like being handled a lot. They don't like you touching the leaves, and they certainly don't like getting water on the leaves. And we do have a whole video on African violet care, so if you want to know more about African violets, you can be sure to check out that video. So this is going to be, I need just a little bit more soil, and it's starting to come apart, so you just hang on to it. I need to get a little more height. It was still sitting down a little bit too low. So that's going to be good there. So I'm going to get it right in the middle of the pot. And again, when I'm transplanting, this is the time to put that plant where you want it. You know, if it needs to be, you know, right in the middle. Sometimes plants will grow, you know, a little bit this way, or a lot of times it depends where that sunlight is, and they'll grow towards that sunlight. So sometimes they get off kilter a little bit. So when you're transplanting, that's the time to go ahead and situate it and get it back on center. So now I've got some room on the sides. I'm going to go through and fill it up. And I'm not going to pack it down tight because, again, the African violets do not like to be packed in there. So I'm just going to lightly get the potting soil mix in and around. And I'm just going to spin around. And I made a mess here, so I'm just going to use that. Some of that extra soil. And I'm still going to leave myself just a little lip around the soil and the lip of the ceramic pot, because I want an area for that water to be able to go in and sit. I don't want to pack it with soil, because then that water will just shed right off when we're watering it. So I'm just going to use up this last bit. And there, that's pretty good. Again, I'm going to use my fingers to push it where I want it and kind of tuck it in. So that's good right there. Then I'm just going to clean up as I go and just put that all back in. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to transplant the rest of these, but now we have our drainage holes here. Give it a little drink so that it kind of settles in. You're going to check it about once a week for the watering care. Again, we have a whole nother video on African violet care, and you can be sure to check out that video. That's how easy it is to go through and drill holes in your ceramic containers. It's not hard, but you do have to have the right tool, and be sure to go easy on it. Don't try to force that drill bit through. Just let the drill bit do the work, because yes, that ceramic is very brittle. It's not like drilling through plastic or wood. It is very brittle, and you don't want to crack, you know, especially if you have a great big expensive container. So be sure to give us a thumbs up on this video, and also check out all our videos. We have a lot of how-to videos on our Facebook. Be sure to follow us and subscribe on our YouTube channel. And you can go to our beatyourneighbor.com website, and you can find this soil there, plus a lot of other products, including our Beat Your Neighbor fertilizer. So that can all be found at beatyourneighbor.com. Hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for watching.